11 Functions. Armor bearer in the Bible. Bearer, armor bearers, PDF. The term armor bearer is found only 7 times in the Bible, all in the Old Testament. An armor bearer was a personal attendant, young man, to a warrior or king who carried his shield and weapons and served as a bodyguard. The most famous armor bearer in the Bible was Uriah the Hittite, one of King David's mighty men, 2 Samuel 23:39. He was probably not from the tribe of Levi, since he is not listed among those who served at the tabernacle, but he faithfully carried out his duties as an armor bearer. This included carrying David's heavy armor into battle and standing guard over him while he slept. When David sinned by committing adultery with Bathsheba and then had Uriah killed to cover up his crime, it must have been a crushing blow to this loyal servant. Armor bearer in the biblical times in the Bible. An armor bearer was a personal attendant to a military commander. The armor bearer's role was to carry the commander's armor, warriors of distinction, large shield, and additional weapons, as well as to provide logistical support during battle. While the armor bearer did not fight in battle, he was expected to be a brave and capable warrior who could be relied upon in a time of need. The Bible describes several notable armor bearers, including Abner, the armor bearer of Saul, Jonathan, the armor bearer of David, and Hur, the armor bearer of Aaron. These men were all men of great faith who served their masters with loyalty and dedication. As Christians, we are called to be faithful servants as well. We may not be called to physical battle, but we are called to fight the spiritual battle against evil. We can build up our strength by studying God's word and being involved in regular prayer. When we are armed with the truth of the gospel, we can stand firm against the enemy's attacks and be a light in the darkness. Armor bearer in the biblical times. 11 Functions of an armor bearer in the Bible. 1. To protect the king, role of armor bearer. 2. To protect the other warriors. 3. To carry the king's shield. 4. To carry the king's weapons. 5. To protect the king's body. 6. To relay messages from the king to other warriors. 7. To relay messages from other warriors to the king. 8. To give food and water to the king and other warriors. 9. To help injured warriors. 10. To take care of the horses and chariots. 11. To carry supplies. What is armor bearer duties? The Bible gives us great insight into the duties of an armor bearer. First and foremost, an armor bearer must be completely devoted to their master. They must be someone who can be trusted with any task, no matter how difficult or dangerous it may be. Furthermore, they must be willing to lay down their life for their master if necessary. In addition to being trustworthy and loyal, an armor bearer must also be physically fit and able to keep up with their master in battle. They must be skilled in the use of weapons and have the strength to carry the heavy armor that their master wears. Finally, armor bearers must have the courage to face any enemy, no matter how formidable they may be. Those who serve as armor bearers must possess all of these qualities in order to fulfill their duties effectively. List of 9 weapons used in war in the Old Testament and their description. Bow and arrow. The bow and arrow was a popular weapon during the war in the Old Testament. It was used to shoot arrows at enemies from a distance. Sling, a leather pouch that a warrior could place a deadly stone. The men of David's arms were said to be able to hit a hare with one. Spear. The spear was another popular weapon during the war in the Old Testament. It was used to stab enemies at close range. Sword. The sword was a common weapon during the war in the Old Testament. It was used to slash and stab enemies. Axe. The axe was a common weapon during the war in the Old Testament. It was used to chop and hack enemies. Dagger. The dagger was a common weapon during the war in the Old Testament. It was used to stab and slash enemies. Shield. The shield was a common weapon during the war in the Old Testament. It was used to protect oneself from enemy attacks. Father, grandfather, minister, missionary, deacon, elder, author, welcome to our family. View all posts.